We can't let the white people tell us what we should look like. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about the erasure of Asian beauty. So, as for my history with it, you can see that I don't really care about beauty. I've actually made a pact not to wear makeup because I think it's bad for your skin, and I also am kind of a conspiracy nut and think that they just want my money, because makeup is supposed to make you look youthful, but then at the same time ages your skin faster, so you need to buy anti-aging products and skincare products, and I just can't with it anymore. So I just don't wear makeup because A, it's going to age my skin faster, B, it costs a lot of money to upkeep, because not only do you need to buy makeup, but you need to buy skincare products, and I'm just lazy. I don't care what I look like, I look the way I look, and that's it. When I was a teenager, I was pretty into the K-beauty stuff, but I realized that was kind of impossible to maintain for me because I just didn't like wearing makeup. But when I did do it, it did make my skin feel really great, so there's that. But I don't think my skin doesn't feel great now either. Alright, so let's get into the video. The first thing I want to talk about is space buns. And I hate when people call space buns. And if you don't know what space buns are, they're you see them at all these raves, they're these girls putting their hair in double buns. And I hate when people call them space buns. A, because I don't know why they call them space buns, is because they look like planets or they're futuristic. But B, and the biggest reason, is because this style originates from East Asia, specifically China. They are called oxhorn buns or double buns. And this is a hairstyle mainly worn by younger girls in China. And now that we call them space buns, it's just kind of erasing the history of the style and how it came from Asia. If you want to wear space buns or oxhorn buns, you can do that, but let's just be mindful and call them what they are. Number 2, what is with all the white models in East Asia, specifically China, Japan, and South Korea, trying to look Asian or half? Most recently, on my Instagram, there has been a model on there. Her name is Dasha Tarin, who's from Russia, but she works in Seoul, and she's had great success there because A, she looks half, but B, and more importantly, she has all the Korean beauty standards because she's white. She has pale, fair skin, a small face, a high bridge nose, big eyes, dark hair, and big lips. Not huge lips, but plump lips. So she has everything that Korean beauty strives to give fully Korean people. But she's white, so she's really popular there, and I get why she's popular there. Because, everyone wants to look half white, or everyone wants to look white, let's just be honest. And, it just frustrates me because why is only one standard of beauty beautiful? And this doesn't go for just people in South Korea or just people in East Asia. This also goes for Asian Americans. I feel like these beauty standards that are created in East Asia carry themselves to Asian Americans. We also need to fit these beauty standards. Even though things are more liberal in the American beauty industry, I still think that the beauty standards for Asian people in America are similar, especially trying to make your eyes look bigger. I think that people in Asia aren't aware that they want to look white because they lie to themselves and say, oh, it's because in ancient times peasants worked under the sun and the rich people stayed indoors and therefore they had pale skin, so that's why I want to have pale skin. And I just roll my eyes so far back in my head because the world has become so globalized that it's obvious that our beauty standards have been colonized by white people and that we want to look white and we want to look half white. I get it, so let's just stop lying to ourselves and saying that we don't want to look white because that's not true. And there has been a few YouTube tutorials specifically targeted to white people to look Asian or half Asian. So we're living in a world where Asian people don't want to look Asian, but where white people do want to look Asian. So it's honestly ridiculous that white people even want to embrace Korean beauty standards or trends, because when they do put the Korean makeup on them and like with the pink eyeshadow and the circle lenses, etc., it doesn't make them look any different because they already have what's beautiful to Asian people already. If anything, it makes them actually look half Asian. And that's pretty insidious because I have seen models on Instagram lie about their heritage and say that they're half Asian when they're clearly not. And it's just so frustrating. Of course, when they want to say that they're half, it's always mixed with being half white, which is a whole other thing because, there are Asian people mixed with other races, but everyone wants to be half white. This isn't, hate to anyone specifically. I'm just here to give legit criticism. I feel like people who lie about their ethnicity or who try to look half Asian or try to look half white, that's not cool because A, you're lying about your race for likes, and B, Asian people are marginalized in society so much already. And it's even worse because our beauty standards don't go out of their way to accentuate our natural features, but to try to distort them to look white. And these white models who come to Asia and are naturally popular because they're white and they look like they're half Asian, it's a sham for diversity and only further marginalizes the native models of those countries. There are famous Asian models in the US, but of course the US only picks the Asian models that look the most exotic. For example, like Sun Feifei and He Sui, they both have, smaller eyes. They don't embrace kind of the big circle lens eyes, things like that are championed in Asia. And because they don't look half white, they're popular in the US because they look fully Asian. It's like this whole paradox that's really confusing, and I hope I'm making sense. But in Asia, they only champion white models, for example, like Dasha Taran, or half models like Kiko Mizuhara. She's half, but she's half white. This brings me to why full Asian representation is so important, as well as Asian people mixed with other races besides white. Their representation is so important because so many times full Asians or Asians who are mixed with other races don't get the praise that they deserve or aren't validated because they're not marketable enough in Asia, and that's because they don't look white enough. It's as simple as that. And I know that this isn't all the models' fault, obviously. They need to get money. Their white beauty is appealing to global markets, and that's why they're popular. It just sucks how these white models who use K-beauty products are more followed and more appreciated than the actual Korean people who made these products in the first place, simply by their virtue of being white. And the real people who are to blame are companies that sell whitening creams and societies that make it impossible for you to avoid getting plastic surgery. How much of a choice is plastic surgery when you're living in a society where you need to look beautiful and uphold a certain standard of beauty in order to even get a job? At the end of the day, the takeaway from this is that we need to embrace our natural beauty, whatever it may be. If it's your wide flat nose, if it's your smaller eyes, if it's your bigger face, we need to embrace these things because no one else is. We can't let the white people tell us what we should look like. We should use makeup to accentuate our natural features and our natural beauty. We shouldn't try to be this homogeneous society that's all trying to aspire to look like they're half white because we think that being mixed with white blood is better than being fully Asian, because that is extremely harmful, and I think that it's been normalized for too long. In the description box, I'm going to post an article about some YouTubers who have posted video tutorials about how to look white. I didn't want to name drop anyone in the video because I don't really think that's fair, but there's this one popular YouTuber who did get famous for transforming herself into looking half Asian. So if you're interested in that, read the article down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.